One stock which is higher by 9 to 10%, and that's Prudent Corporate Advisory Services Limited. The company has reported a strong set of numbers, but let's discuss the outlook with Mr. Sanjay Shah. He's the MD at Prudent Corp, joining us on the show. Sanjay, hi, thank you so much for making time and speaking with us. Well, your AUM has been growing at a CAGR of 35% over the last 2 to 3 years, which is almost twice the industry rate. But the question is it going to be sustainable? Because you, of course, had the positive impact of a low base earlier, but from current level, can 30% plus growth in AUM sustain?
So probably it will be difficult for me to give you the guidance. However, I can tell you there are two important components of our net growth in the AUM. So one growth comes from the mark to market, another would be from the net sales. And if you look at my current SIP book, which is almost about 522 crore a month, if you analyze that, that works out to be over 6,200 crore. So if you look at 6,200 crore of input value against my 57,000 crore of opening AUM, I think there is 11 to 12% of addition, which is very, very visible. And normally we say that similar amount of mark-to-market growth might come. So I can tell you, at least from a longer term or medium term of 3 to 5 year perspective, I think expecting 20 to 23% growth of the AUM doesn't look very, very difficult. So we are actually having an internal target of surpassing 1 lakh crore of AUM in next 3 years time frame.
Sanjay, 1 lakh crore in AUM, that's what you're targeting to cross. How much that will come from value growth and how much that will be from flows?
So normally, sir, I think it's 50-50. From the mark-to-market growth is 50% and 50% comes from our efforts. So it's the historical, if you look at my presentation last 5 years data, see in FY18, if my AUM was 100 rupees, we moved to 321 by FY23. So that 3.2 times growth, 54% came from net sales and 48% came from mark-to-market gain.
But, Mr. Sanjay, SEBI is doing a lot to curb the total kind of commissions and distribution charges, etc., that everybody is making. They're trying to bring down the total expense ratio as well. What will it all do to the business model that is there at this point of time? Because will it cause margin pressure on your margins?
So I think still it's very premature because I think entire industry is trying to understand kind of impact which is likely to come, and there will be a lot of representation which will go to the SEBI. However, you need to understand from the point of view of business model which we has. So probably let us assume that there is a X impact on the balance sheet of or on the TER side on the AMC. How much they are going to pass on to everybody in the value chain, whether you are talking about the brokers or AMC themselves in their management fee or RT or to the distributors like us, and how much they pass on to the retail distributors. So I think that is something which is very, very crucial. And finally, when they pass on to distributors, if they pass on equally to all, probably so at the end of the day, it's very difficult for me to tell you. But however, I think entire arithmetic and the calculation will happen only when the clarity will emerge.
Sanjay, I want to understand how have your folios in your company actually growing? Because a lot of time volume growth actually masks whether this fresh flow is actually coming from wider number of people or not. That is something, because these are the guys who come under the fold and then start investing more with the passage of time. Are the folios going up sharply?
Yes. So if you look at overall, probably we are very, very retail representative, right? So today, if I am talking about my AUM is of 57,000 crore, we have almost 15-16 lakh customers, and average AUM per customer is 3.7 lakh rupees. Almost about 8 lakh people would have joined in last 3 years. So I think the number of investors is also growing very, very rapidly. We added SIP is also very, very strong. So acceptance of people on the ground of investing in mutual fund, and that is also through SIP is very, very strong. Today we have almost about 15 lakh customer. I can tell you another way. My 50% customer are yet to start SIP. Today we have 20 lakh SIPs going on, but that 20 lakh SIP comes from 7.5 lakh investors, and another 7 lakh investors not even started SIP. So what I'm just trying to communicate is retail is coming either through lump sum or through SIP, and those who are coming through SIP remains for a long period of time. Lump sum guys, we need to do a lot of efforts to start them also to investing through SIP.
Okay, Sanjay, on that note, we'll let you go a little short on time today, but nonetheless, thank you so much for making time and speaking with us. Slipping into a very short break, don't go anywhere.